Detachment is often misunderstood as indifference or emotional distance. In reality, it is a form of emotional clarity. Detachment allows individuals to engage fully without becoming consumed. It creates a boundary between caring deeply and carrying what is not ours to carry. Emotional burnout emerges when emotional energy is constantly overextended. When people over-identify with outcomes, reactions, or the emotions of others, their nervous system remains in a state of chronic activation. Detachment interrupts this cycle by restoring balance between involvement and self-preservation. Healthy detachment does not mean withdrawing from connection. It means releasing control over what cannot be controlled. When expectations loosen, emotional pressure decreases. The mind no longer struggles to manage every outcome, and the body begins to relax. Burnout is fueled by emotional responsibility taken too far. When individuals feel responsible for other people's moods, choices, or healing, emotional exhaustion follows. Detachment returns responsibility to its rightful place. Each person becomes accountable for their own inner world. The nervous system responds positively to detachment because it reduces perceived threat. When outcomes are no longer tied to identity or self-worth, stress responses diminish. Emotional regulation becomes easier and resilience increases. Detachment also prevents emotional burnout by creating psychological space. Space allows reflection instead of reaction. It allows response instead of impulsive engagement. With space, emotions can be observed without being absorbed. When detachment is present, boundaries become clearer. Saying no longer feels like rejection. Taking space no longer feels like abandonment. Emotional interactions become cleaner and less draining because roles and limits are understood. Burnout often arises from emotional fusion. Fusion occurs when personal identity becomes entangled with external validation or relational dynamics. Detachment dissolves this fusion. It restores a sense of self that is stable, regardless of external fluctuations. Healthy detachment encourages emotional sustainability. Energy is no longer wasted on rumination, overthinking, or emotional overfunctioning. Instead, emotional resources are conserved and used intentionally. Detachment also improves relational dynamics. When people stop trying to control emotional outcomes, connection becomes lighter. Presence replaces pressure. Authenticity replaces performance. Relationships feel less demanding and more nourishing. Emotional burnout thrives in environments of constant urgency. Detachment slows emotional tempo. It creates pause. In that pause, the nervous system recovers, clarity returns, and emotional fatigue begins to dissolve. Detachment does not eliminate emotion, it refines it. Emotions are felt without being amplified by fear or attachment to outcomes. This refinement prevents emotional overwhelm and preserves emotional health. When detachment is practiced consistently, emotional burnout becomes less likely. Individuals remain engaged without becoming depleted. Compassion remains intact because it is no longer draining. Ultimately, detachment protects emotional well-being by separating care from control. It allows people to show up fully without losing themselves. Emotional energy is restored, boundaries are respected, and burnout is replaced with emotional endurance. Detachment is not disengagement, it is disciplined presence. And in a world of constant emotional demand, disciplined presence is what sustains long-term emotional health.